She's never battled injuries in college. She's always been something who has been a very healthy player, and this year it has been quad injury, and then another quad injury, and then a groin injury, and now what seems to be another groin injury. Caitlin Clark seems to have re-injured her groin. I'm going to go into some of the clips that are going viral right now. There are multiple moments in this game that were so egregiously called, or there was no cause by the referees. Even Caitlin Clark's brother tweeted, "This one is on the refereeing." Like, there are people in Caitlin Clark's family who are starting to call out the referees because of how bad they have been. Now, the Caitlin Clark season is officially over, and the way it happened has everyone stunned. Just weeks before the playoffs, the Fever's biggest star confirmed she won't be back on the court in 2025. But here's the real question. Is this just a pause in her rise, or could this injury derail everything she's built so far? Stick with me, because the story behind this decision reveals way more than just bad luck. It's a turning point for Clark, the Fever, and even the entire WNBA. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. It wasn't during a game, and it wasn't when she limped off the court. The exact moment people realized Caitlin Clark's season was officially done came through her own words posted online. That sudden message hit harder than any highlight play, because it meant the Fever star wasn't coming back. Not this season. Fans had been waiting for weeks to see her step back on the floor. And then, in just a few sentences, the hope was gone. Leading up to that point, her season already felt like it was running on fumes. She had only managed to play 13 games, which sounded unbelievable for someone expected to carry a team chasing the playoffs. Every one of those games showed flashes of what she could do, but they also played out against the backdrop of everyone holding their breath. So as you guys can see here, she is dribbling down, she plants her foot, she passes the ball to Kelsey Mitchell on the back door, and then when she is running back on the other end of the court, it seems like she's grabbing her groin area. It was honestly just so heartbreaking to see, because in that moment she just looked so defeated. And Caitlin Clark is somebody, she hides it really well. I don't know if hiding it or she handles it is probably the right thing to say. This play in the game was with under 1 minute left in the game against the Connecticut Sun. She has been on minutes restriction for the last few games, and I've always been a bit confused by that, because I did not understand why the Fever would bring her back if she was injured at all, wondering how long her body could hold up. Indiana built their plans around her, put her at the center of the playoff push, and then suddenly it all collapsed. Imagine that. Your franchise star gets to peek into a rookie season, show glimpses of greatness, but never even scratches her full potential before the bottom drops out. And this wasn't a new injury that just came out of nowhere. The problem dated back to July, when the groin issue first popped up, and from that point the whole situation turned into a waiting game. Each week reporters asked if Clark was ready, fans flooded social media with guesses, and everyone braced for a possible return. The frustration wasn't only hers, it weighed on the Fever too. They had to pretend optimism in interviews, but deep down they must have known the return date looked less likely each passing week. You could see the team hanging on to hope, adjusting rotations, trying to survive without her. But nobody was foolish enough to think she was easily replaceable. What really struck people about her announcement wasn't just the injury detail, but the way she admitted she wasn't ready. Those words carried weight. They told the story of not just a physical setback, but a mental battle she couldn't win this time. She is fighting back tears, and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying, and I've honestly never seen Caitlin Clark cry on the court except when she lost the national championship game. Now, they were winning by, I believe, 8 points at the time, so I guess the Sun could have came back. But every time the Indiana Fever plays the Connecticut Sun, it is a very, very physical game. I feel like Caitlin Clark, she is your star player. She's having an injury that is jumping. It's not one that is just staying in one area. It's jumping from quad to groin and now to another groin. She laid out how much she was grinding, hours each day in the practice facility, endless rehab, sweat poured into trying to push through. And still, even with all that effort, her body didn't respond. You almost felt like you could see her hitting the wall, that moment where willpower alone wasn't enough. Think about that. A player who built her entire reputation on work ethic and relentlessness, admitting she couldn't go on, even after doing everything possible. That's where the heartbreak set in for fans, because it wasn't laziness holding her back, it wasn't a lack of commitment. It was the simple fact that her body shut her down before the season did. This news dropped while the Fever were staring down the final 3 games. Those games weren't just numbers on a sketch. They were the last shot at trying to claw their way toward playoff relevance, and now the centerpiece of the plan was gone. You could almost watch the fire draining out of the season as soon as her update went public. Expectations fell off a cliff. Without Clark, the playoff picture blurred completely, leaving Indiana basically counting down the days instead of fighting for them. Outside of the locker room, the reaction spread fast. Some fans were devastated, posting about how crushed they felt not getting to see the rookie finish what she started. But this was honestly, I'm not going to share this whole clip because I don't know how much she wants the video of her basically crying on the court to be circulated around. She handles the pressure. She handles all of the media spotlight, the attention, the expectations of how she performs on the court, the expectations of the ratings for her games. Others immediately questioned whether she was putting too much of a spotlight too quickly, asked to carry a load that even veterans wouldn't stand up under. Online debates exploded, with critics using her injury as proof that she was overhyped, while supporters pushed back saying, "This is just part of an athlete's journey." That split reaction might have stung as much as the injury itself. In the end, though, the key moment wasn't about her groin or her stat line. It was about confidence. For a player like Clark, believing her body will respond is everything. And once that belief cracked, the season was gone long before the official words were posted. All the numbers in the world can't measure that kind of loss. And with that collapse set in stone, the spotlight shifted. The season was over, but the storm outside the court was only beginning. And the reaction to her fall turned out to be even more brutal. Caitlin Clark's season ending isn't just another injury story. This is the first real test of whether her name will be tied to hype or built on resilience. Every rookie hits a wall, but for her, the wall came in the form of her body saying no. That's where the story changes. Sometimes the biggest plays happen without a buzzer, in the grind of recovery and proving you can come back stronger. So I want to know what you think.